Hi guys! So I'm often asked whether injections just hide or mask an Achilles injury. So that's what I'm going to discuss in this video. And the answer to that is yes and no. And I'll talk you through why I say that. My name is Maryke. I'm one of the physiotherapists from treatmyachilles.com, where you can get online physiotherapy assessment as well as treatment for your Achilles injuries. So have a look at the link to our website is in the description of this video. Good, so why do I say yes or no? Because it depends on the type of injection. You have different injections that does different things. So if we think of, I'm not going to discuss all the injections, but PRP injections, for instance, they are actually thought to, it's where they inject your own platelets. They take your blood, spin it, get your own platelets, inject them in. Now, the platelets release hormones that can stimulate collagen production and healing. So PRP injections, in theory, actually could stimulate your tendon to heal better. By the way, the research around Achilles tendons and PRP still shows at the moment that it doesn't really work that well, but it does seem to work well for other tendons. Then high volume injections, that's where you just inject a lot of clear fluid into the tendon and you do a little bit of movement with the needle as well. They are really useful for dulling the pain down. So if you've got a super painful tendon, then that can help to just bring your pain down a little bit. So in a sense, that does mask your injury, but I'll explain to you when this may be useful in a minute. Then steroid injections. They should never be used for Achilles tendons because there is research out there to suggest that they can actually cause a degradation of your tendon, so it can become even weaker and it can lead to trouble in the future. Steroids are brilliant at killing pain, and that's why they've been used traditionally. But these days, doctors should really not be injecting steroids into tendons. Okay, so if we think of why would we want to mask the pain, why that may be useful, you've got to remember that pain is separate from injury. So often you can get that actually the injury has pretty much healed, or it's not even that bad, but the pain response is still super over the top. We're not entirely sure why that happens, but there's quite often a mismatch between pain response and injury status. And you do get it that in some instances, people can't get going with their rehab program because that Achilles tendon is just too painful. Or they're doing all the right things, and when we test them, you can see that they are strong. That tendon is strong, but they're still getting pain. In those cases, it may actually be useful to do something like a high volume injection. Or to be honest, I'll throw shockwave in there as well. I know it's not an injection, but it's very good at numbing pain. So that we can just get that pain response to reset back to normal and then see what the Achilles tendon thinks of loading it. So if you're finding it hard to get going with your rehab and you're sure that you're on the right rehab program, or it just stays super painful and despite doing everything right, it's just not progressing, then an injection may be of use. But the caveat is that you have to make sure that you first tried at least 12 weeks of a proper progressive rehab program. So the best treatment for Achilles tendon injuries, which the research supports, is a load management program where you take out the really aggravating factors so that it can rest for a little bit. But you keep all the activity that doesn't really cause that much pain. So it's not total rest. And you start a strengthening program. But that strengthening program has to be started at the right level for you. So don't think that, oh, I'm doing these heavy heel raises because I've read on the internet that I have to do them, but they really hurt, so I think I need an injection. No, it may just be that you've started with an exercise that was too hard for your Achilles tendon. You need to start at the right level that just causes a niggle level and then progress them. And that's the other important thing. You can't just be doing the same exercise at the same level for 12 weeks and then expecting progress. As you're getting stronger, the exercises need to become harder, and you've got to change them up at the speed and things you're doing them at to get you back to the level that you need to be for running or other sports. So if you've not tried that properly, then I wouldn't go for an injection, because chances are that you actually don't need that injection. And injections don't work for everybody, and they also all have, they can have complications. So the other important thing is, if we establish that, yeah, actually you do need an injection because this thing is just not going the way it should be going, even though you're doing all the right things, then injections should never be used in isolation. So if you get that injection that helps with the pain, or the PRP even, or whatever you prefer, or the doctor feels is significant, as appropriate, then brilliant. But you still need to strengthen your Achilles tendon and make sure that it's at the right level, has the right strength and endurance to be able to play your sport. So don't just have, if you're going to have the injection and then just go, well, go back to sport in 2 weeks' time because I feel perfect now. You may be all right for a week or two, but it will likely recur because you need to do that maintenance and you need to build it up. Brilliant. So hope that answers that question. Let me know if you've got any questions. And if you need more help with your injury, you're welcome to consult one of us via video call. Link to the website is in the description of this video. Take care.